Must be Thursday. I can't hear myself in here. Hopefully you can hear me out there. But you know what? It's a good day to be alive, isn't it, Rob?
It's a very great day to be alive.
You tried to take my Tiger Life from me. I got it, so I'm amped up and I'm back.
Got that energy, buddy.
I can't do it without Tiger Life, but I can't do it without you. Neither can we. None of us can. I'm not even making any sense now. I've been watching.
That's what she said.
I have, right? Well, she's not here. My wife, she's gone. So I have 2 kids that I've been chasing around for the last day, and I'm going to have 4 more days of this. So I don't know where I'm at right now.
Bless you, brother.
Yes, I know I'm with you.
Man.
This is my vacation here. This is my vacation. So there's so much stuff we're going to get into today. We have a great show planned. We have Crystal Pittman, the rugged beauty. She's going to be on. We're going to find out more about her because there's not a lot out there about her. That'll be interesting. And then also your hero, the hero, Quentin Henry coming on as well. He's going to be facing Jason Fish coming up at BKFC 20. BKFC.com. If you want to get on that, you should, because it's going to be a great card, as always. Big fan of watching what Quentin has done, so that'll be fun to talk to him and kind of peel back the layers. The man, to me, I don't know how he seems to you, and we'll get into this with him. He seems, with respect, this is a good thing to me, kind of a loose cannon sometimes.
Yeah.
But he seems like he knows what he's doing, but he'll go off. And he seems almost like a real fighter with a pro wrestler mentality or something.
Yeah,
Like the look, the mullet and all.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. That's a great description of him for sure, man.
But you're never quite sure
exciting.
when you're around him.
I know. You don't know what you're going to get.
I know.
It's like fireworks.
Well, we don't know what we're getting. We do know what we're getting. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what's trending in combat sports before we get to Crystal Pittman and all. We do know this. We do know that if you're boxing, you're a fight fan, Manny Pacquiao, Earl Spence, off. I don't know what happened. I just know it's off.
Yeah, so Earl Spence, torn retina, man.
Ooh, that's
crazy. Left eye, I believe.
How? Do you know how that happened?
I do not. They were actually doing, I believe, his physical. And when they were doing his physical, it popped up, torn left retina. So that fight is off.
I would think, wait a minute. I would think that if you have a torn retina, I've never had one, but that's probably painful. I would think you would know that going in, that something's wrong, unless he really wanted the fight, right?
Yeah. Or you would have some kind of idea that something's going wrong.
Yeah, you're training. You probably can't see as well. If you ever had a torn retina in the chat, let us know. Does it hurt, number 1? And I would guess that you could tell, number 2. Again, he was a warrior. Maybe he just wanted to go into the fight.
If not, it's a blessing in disguise, man. So,
Can't fight with one eye.
Going blind in one eye. And
we'll
going
talk
blind
to Quentin Henry about that later when he fought Chris Lieben, the one eye. So that's off, that fight. But is Pacquiao still fighting? What's going on?
Your Dennis, you got...
This is, look.
I tried practicing his last name like 20 times and I still butchered it.
Let's peel the curtain back a little bit here. Rob and I, before we went on, it's horrible. I like names like Jim Smith. They're like Jason Fish. They're really easy, right? Yeah. You get these names that are hard to pronounce. We're trying to Google it to make sure we don't sound like idiots, which we are morons with microphones. That's all we are. And we're going through it and we're going to get this right. That's why I told Rob we should just put it on the soundboard. When he couldn't say it, they'd hit the sound. That's what we're going to do from now on.
Pretty sure it's your Dennis Ugas.
I give you time to think about it while I was rambling.
Cuban fighter, good record. I don't know how the pay-per-view is going to sell, though. I was actually really looking forward to the Spence, and that would position Pacquiao. I mean, he's already positioned as one of the best fighters of all time, but a win over him.
Oh, yeah.
He's back in the mix, man.
So it's sad that's not happening. Did they announce that if they're going to reschedule or anything like that?
Nope. To date, I have nothing further than the torn retina, and it's rescheduled. Maybe rescheduled.
Well, from one fight that's not happening to a fight that is happening, if you haven't heard about this, Tito Ortiz going to be taking on, this is going to be huge. It's a thriller, too.
What's on their super card, headlined by Oscar De La Hoya versus Vitor Belfort. And now you have this, Anderson Silva.
And Tito Ortiz, man. What do you think about that? I feel like you're excited about that, Rob.
I am, man. I'm really excited. I was really impressed by Anderson Silva's boxing ability. Cesar Chavez Jr., I ain't gonna get into him, but hey, a win over him is a win. That dude's a professional boxer. Anderson Silva, is not. He doesn't come from that, that world, but he made him look like an amateur, dude. And he's not young. Anderson Silva's in his 40s.
Yeah.
So now, I'm excited for that card. September 11th.
We were kind of talking about this before we went on about what to expect, and the whole card, top to bottom, looks like a pretty solid card. You were saying, and I know you're going to be watching that. We'll probably be texting back and forth all kinds of dumb things. So we'll be reviewing that as well. I'm sure.
Well, that's a tough one because that's going to be the same day as Game Bread 2.
That's why I'm
going to tease it.
Well, Game Bread 2 is going to be good. It is a tough one. But when you think about it, the good thing about the BKFC app, BKFC.com, the Bare Knuckle TV app, is that if you miss Game Bread, you can go back and watch it. So if you want to watch them both, you have the power to do it, and it's so cheap. I mean, why wouldn't you?
For $4.99, you can't beat that, man.
Boom, on the bottom of the screen.
Not $49.99.
Yeah,
$4.99.
And yeah, if you're digging through the couch cushions, you don't have a lot of cash, man. Just stick with the BKTV app, Bare Knuckle Television app, BKFC.com to grab that. Again, so much other stuff to get into today. Very excited about Crystal Pittman to come on. If you've never seen Crystal Pittman, they call her the Rugged Beauty. She's new to the sport. It'll be her debut. She's facing Audra Cummings. That's coming up BKFC 20, which is like how many? That's like a week away almost.
Week, man. Next Friday.
Wow, we're almost to fight week. There she is. We had the pleasure of meeting her before. She's wonderful. She's delightful. I haven't seen her fight yet. I've seen her shadow box. I've seen her hit pads. We don't know what she's capable of. We're going to find out a little bit about her background. She is strikingly beautiful. Matter of fact, she was at BKFC 19 walking around the crowd, and I don't think people thought she was a fighter. I think they thought she was like a movie star or something. I mean, she looks like she could be a princess in a movie.
I've been saying this for months, man. Do not sleep on her. Do not sleep on them hands. They look solid, man. They look really solid.
Well, so
I'm excited to see her debut.
She's also, I'm going to find out about this in a relationship, I believe, with a professional fighter. We're going to talk about that. So that's got to be helpful in her career and get training and getting ready for everything. And we just want to find out her background. And then, like I said, Quentin and Henry are going to be coming on to talk about this fight. The big hero, yes. I never know what
we got some stuff to unpack with that guy, man, from the drama in the crowd.
Yeah, people forgot about that maybe. What happened, BKFC, what was that, 17?
Yeah.
Afterwards.
We're gonna dig that up, man. We're going to dig some dirt today.
Well, you keep talking, he's going to be like, I'm not calling. And he'll probably be more excited calling early now. He knows what you're talking about. But there's so much great stuff going on in BKFC. We have so many great cards coming up. Let's talk about those, man. The cards that are coming up. I know we have tryouts coming up as well. So, I mean, actually, you know what? Let's talk about the tryouts first. We'll get to the cards later.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
And who's going to be there? Jared Kid Gotti Grant, I saw.
He is, man.
Youngest guy in BKFC, undefeated. Who better to learn from, man?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Someone who's new to the sport. Not really.
If you're in the area, if you're in Florida and you're looking to become a BKFC fighter, we get it all the time. We get thousands of messages a month. How do I become a fighter? I want to fight. I want to fight. I want to fight. Now's your chance. August 28th, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Go to bkfc.com. Learn more about that.
And I always say that, and we've said this before, tryouts work. Nate Shook is there. David Feldman's there sometimes. We have these professional fighters. We've had all these people. Lido come through. Leonard Garcia come through. They do seminars. We've had, I'm going to forget people, all kinds of people that have come through. And even if you don't get signed, you get the benefit of coming there and getting essentially knowledge.
A masterclass education in combat sports.
And then you come back next time and you're more dangerous. You go to your next fight, you're more dangerous. You're learning from these guys that have been in there. And if you've never been in there and you're like, oh, I can do this, because you hear that a lot too. And then they get in there and you're like, no, I can't do this. At least you go, you test your mettle there, you see how you're doing. And, you know, we look for people too that have speaking ability. I mean, you can be a great fighter, but we also want to interview you and talk to you and find out about you. So if you come to one of these tryouts, just come ready. It's actually every fighter I've talked to who's signed or not, they always say how beneficial it is and how exciting it is, because you don't always get to do this kind of stuff. You're trying out for, I mean, look, we work for BKFC, but this is a major organization and we're allowing people to say, hey, you know what? If you're good enough, we're going to bring you on. Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sell this, man. I don't know how long we're going to be doing this for. This could be one of the last times. The pool is getting deeper and deeper. The competition is getting deeper and deeper. And again, I'm not trying to sell it. The phones are ringing off the hook. I want to fight for BKFC. We can talk about some of the newest signings that
I know. We've had, I mean, we always say Sam Shoemaker was found there. He's not a newest signing, but he was found there. And also we had the Irishman, Kyle, the guy in the last fight. He was found there. Over and over again, we find these people, and they have such passion when they come out there. Because here's the thing. Professional fighters, I'll never take that away from them. They have tons of passion. That's why they do what they do. They're warriors. But when you get the new guys coming in that want to make an impact, that have to make an impact, this is how they're going to feed their family. They're fighting for their lives, man. It's like the college football analogy. College football, you might play a little harder because you're trying to get noticed. And, you know, and that's kind of the same thing, I feel like.
Yeah, when you're out hunting for food, man, you're going to be scratching your way to the very top if there ain't nothing in the fridge. You can do anything you can to get that piece of meat, brother.
Do you ever do that in the fridge when you go in the fridge and you're like, I want something to eat? You open up and you stare at it for 5 minutes, and then you shut the fridge and you go back and you come back and look again like 10 times like there's going to be something. You ever do that? Or is that just me?
Dude, I thought that was just me, man. Like I've done like 5 different times, man. I'm like, oh. Nope, nothing here.
Like an idiot.
Yeah, and I'll come back like something new's going to pop up.
Like a moron, yes. Yeah. I do it. I thought I was the only one. Let us know if you do that in the chat as well. Crystal Pittman is in the imaginary green room that we have here live at Satellite 5 in the cyber green room with the red hair. Crystal Pittman, how are you? The rugged beauty's here.
Yay! Hi,
I can't hear you,
I have to say
Crystal.
I'm so excited to see you guys again.
Oh, now I can hear
All
you.
right, there we go. We got her.
All right, how you doing, Crystal? The Rugged Beauty's in the house.
I'm good. How are you?
We are phenomenal, and there's so much stuff that we want to learn about you. There's just so much. The first thing I want to tell you is, first of all, happy belated birthday. I know your birthday was
Thank
about a
you.
week ago. Yes, I saw that. And from what I understand, you got the gift of BKFC around your birthday. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it was crazy when I first decided years ago that this was part of my path. I wrote down on my goals and my little vision board that by the time I was 35, for my 35th birthday, I wanted to make my big pro debut. And I just kept working and working. And, and when COVID hit, I was like, it was so funny because I was like, oh man, my birthday is coming up in a few months and COVID's here and, it's okay. Maybe I'll just keep working hard and everything will open back up. And then within that, couple weeks, I got in communication, with the managements and BKFC. And then for my birthday, they sent me the confirmed fight poster. So it literally hit my goal.
That's perfect.
Awesome.
For my birthday.
So, of course, your pro debut in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, BKFC 20 against Audra Cummings. This is going to be great coming up in Biloxi, BKFC.com. And there's so much interesting things about you that people don't know. I don't even know. I just know there's a couple little highlights I want to chat with you about because we're going to unpack a lot. We're just getting to know you. First of all, your background. I mean, I think you've done some wrestling. I believe you've done MMA. Is it fair to say you've done maybe one kickboxing or maybe more than that?
No, I've done 3.
3, okay. I
Is
knew
it
you did
3?
some. Okay.
3.
So
3 or 4.
So
I gotta look. I totally forgot. I've done so much, like off the grid. I've done so much.
So as far as kickboxing, I mean, do you feel that I've never kickboxed in this kind of in bare knuckle? Obviously, there's no kicking. You sometimes hear people that come from the UFC and stuff, and they're saying they want to, grab a leg and do a takedown, and they have to kind of get off of that. Did you have trouble just standing and throwing punches, getting ready to do that? Is that a mental block for you?
No, it actually came. It always kind of came so natural because my passion has always been just stand up and throwing hands and boxing. And so when I had to take everything out, I actually grew so much more. My techniques, everything just kind of came together even more than it already was. So, so I actually was really, really happy. There was no mental block or anything that I was throwing kicks or trying to block some, you know what I mean? Like a Muay Thai stance, everything just came really natural.
Of course. And as we're doing this interview, there's people in the live chat. I want to invite you, if you have any questions for the Rugged Beauty, feel free to let us know. We'll try to work those in as well. But I do know that Rob has questions for you. I know you have a question. I mean, there's millions, but Rob, go for it, man.
So Crystal, tell us a little bit, how did you get into the world of combat sports? Like what started it all?
Well, what's mainly, I mean, if we want to get into the deep stories of my life, I had a really, really struggled childhood. I went through a whole bunch of abuse growing up. It was probably started around when I was 5, and as I got older, it always followed me. You name it. I mean, I've been through probably almost every type of thing you can go to when it comes to that kind of struggle, domestic, family abuse, just a whole bunch of different types. And when I got into my 20s, I was like, man, there has to be a reason why why I felt so defeated in my life. People kept, coming into my life and I'm hurting and having your childhood kind of taken away from you at such a young age. And I got this message that I needed to be on this path. And of course my son is one of my main priorities and I fight for him, but I actually also decided that I was going to fight to give what I told you guys before is giving the broken a voice and fighting and there's so much more just to stepping in BKFC and fighting and doing my goals throughout there and reaching out and trying to help other people, you know, who haven't been able to heal or don't feel like they have a voice or can reach out to somebody or even just get help. So I'm just here to let people know that there's strength, you know, in what they've experienced and stuff like that.
Yeah. And what I see in you is the fact that you remain upbeat, positive, and you seem like you've been through all this stuff, but it won't break you. And I know that mentally you have to be tough as a fighter, and mentally you have to be tough to get through the things that you've gone through that you're talking about. So I think it's very interesting that you're able to continue with the good mood. I feel like you're in a good mood every time I see you, even though you've been through all this stuff. And I would guess that fighting helps you with that. You know what else I would guess helps you with that? You said you've been through all this stuff, and I'm going to peel back another layer. I don't know if he's your boyfriend. I don't know if he's your fiance, but he is a professional fighter. I think it was WEC, Doug Marshall. That's got to be a great guy to kind of pull you away from the BS and put you in the good stuff. And you guys seem like you have a great relationship when I see you guys together, but not only just talking to each other in training and stuff. This guy has to be very beneficial for you. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah. You know, when I started this path, I was like, okay, I need to figure out who can I go to. You know, I want to if I'm going to dedicate my life to doing this, I want to find the best trainer around me that I can, you know, and I like straight up dedicated from day one. And I lived in Fresno, and Visalia is about a 45-minute drive from Visalia, which is where we train out of and where I live now. But a mutual friend has said, well, you need to go see Doug Marshall. And I was like, okay, didn't ask any questions. And I met him, and I was driving back and forth twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day for training. And you know, I'd just pack my son in, we'd go to school for him and then come back to Visalia and then come back, you know? So it was really awesome because he saw my path. I communicated to him, and I know a lot of people are like, we'll come into a fighting gym and be like, oh, I want to fight, you know? Yeah. But I came in and being like, I'm here to train. This is, you know, right now I just want to get in and train and prove myself. And then I started kind of talking about my goals, and he's like, let's do it. You know, so training with him, he gives me that perfect balance of composure and aggression and pretty much everything that I need, and allows me to open up and release everything I need to release during those times that I'm fighting. So I have a perfect balance when it comes to training with him. Yeah, it's really awesome.
It is awesome. I've talked to Joey and Belcher and Britton Hart about it. I've talked to Paige Van Zandt and Austin Vanderford about it. I feel like when you have somebody who's like-minded that understands what you're going through as a fighter, that makes a relationship that much easier to have, and it's that much more beneficial. But let's talk a little bit about your fight. Let's talk about Aldra Cummings. What do you know about Aldra Cummings? What have you been training for? There's not really tape. I don't think she's even fought for us. She was supposed to, but she didn't. So this is her debut as well.
Both their debuts, yep.
What do you know about her? I mean, have you been trying to study stuff, or you just kind of concentrate on you?
Yeah, I'm usually any opponents, Doug takes care of that. I'm kind of like huge on not creating like a false sense of fear. You know what I mean? Yes. And being like, oh, I better watch out for that. If there's something my coaches see that I need to watch out for, or they need to train me, they'll train me, and not specifically telling me, okay, you know, exactly what I need to do, because if we know what's coming, you know, yeah, we can train for it. We know what's coming, but can we stop it? So I really go in doing my own style. I don't care. I really don't care what any of my opponents do, to be honest, because I feel like that's my area. They're stepping into my territory, you know. And at the end of the day, we're all. It's all about sportsmanship, and but when we're in the ring, you know, it's a different story. So when we train my strengths. We turn my weaknesses into strengths, and we just really focus on the end game and having trust in our training and moving forward to be successful.
And Crystal, you talked about your strengths and training on your weaknesses on both of them. Now, coming to the live events, have you learned anything by seeing some of these matches live, or anything that you've seen that you have incorporated into your training regimen that might help you moving forward?
Yeah, I've seen I've seen a lot of things. I've seen the way they block. I noticed, especially the men's fights don't last very long. The girls at in July, the girl fights don't last very long. And so, besides the fact that literally it's just like, we have no gloves and it's like little bullets coming at your face, right? Depending on obviously how fast they are. But I've saw a lot of different things on how they block, on how, body shots, pretty much everything. My mind has just been open to everything. And we haven't completely changed our whole training regimen, but we've definitely, bare knuckle fighting comes natural to me anyways. So I feel really smooth when we work on a lot of things, and I feel really, my growth is there when it comes to learning the new techniques. And I see a lot of people preparing their knuckles and we do stuff like that, and definitely preparing body conditioning but there's also things that I see. There's also ways that I can take advantage of things that I see that people do in bare knuckle fighting that I can use to my advantage.
Well, we're excited to see how you use those things to your advantage, and we're going to see that coming up. Before we let you out here, you're talking about the physical training, and let's talk about mentality. I'm big on that mental training. I mean, you're heading into a war, your bare knuckle war. You're going to be walking down to the squared circle. The emotions, where are they at? Like when you walk into the building, when you walk, how do you prepare mentally to go there and get punched and be punched in the face if you've never been in an official BKFC bout? Like, are you wondering what to expect? Are there any nerves? There has to be.
Yeah, I feel like nerves, no matter what, are pretty normal for fighters. I don't think we'll ever get rid of that, regardless if you have all the experience in the world or if people who are just starting off fighting. I feel like that's a pretty normal and honestly a healthy. I think it's really really healthy to have those nerves and anxiety. It keeps you on point, and also I'm very comfortable. For me, my mindset is, especially when I'm getting ready to walk to the ring, I'm just very affirming for myself and I'm ready. When I'm there, I'm like, okay, let's go. Like it's my time to go into where, I love to be and do what I love to do. This is absolutely a passion for me, and I'm in there to have fun and scrap and show everything that I've been working so hard for. This is the fun part for me.
That's great.
Training is it's just especially the weight cuts.
Oh, that's got to be the weight cuts. I just like pizza. I couldn't do weight cuts. I like burgers. But it's going to be exciting to watch you fight. And we're excited. Well, someone once said to me that when you lose the butterflies in your stomach before you go out there, you're not really, maybe you should reconsider what you're doing. So I kind of understand what you mean there. But BKFC 20 is going to be great in Biloxi, Mississippi, coming up almost a week. What's it, a week from tomorrow, if you can believe it. You can watch it, bkfc.com. You're taking on Audrey Cummings. We can't wait to see your debut, both of you, and see what you're going to bring to BKFC. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks, Crystal.
Thank you so much, you guys. It was so great to see you. You guys are so awesome.
Thank you, too. We'll send you the $50 each in the mail for saying that. We appreciate that. All right, Crystal, we'll talk to you real soon. Good luck. Go back to training. Go do your thing. You've spent enough time with us two knuckleheads. Get it? We're such losers. I'm dropping my transmission here. I'm calling you a loser. I'm putting you in here with me. I'm the loser.
I'm with you, brother.
Thank you for that. That was great. So we learned a lot about Crystal today, and I'm excited to learn more about her when we watch her fight. I mean, the proof's in the pudding.
She can say all this stuff. Some of the things she was talking about, raising her, going through what she went through to where she's at right now. As bad as it sounds, and I hope this doesn't come off wrong, it's always great to hear struggles, trials, tribulations that people went through and overcoming that.
Hey, scrape your knee.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it, man. From being going through an abusive relationship and growing up in that type of environment to now taking that of what can break someone down and saying, you know what, I'm going to make it build me up, and I'm going to build other people up so they have a voice, because I've been through that. That's
not
awesome.
To be too deep here, but I think that she understands from that interview. You can tell that that's kind of her path, and she's embraced it, which some people won't embrace it. So kudos to her for embracing it and empowering other people as well. That's going to be a fun fight. There's a lot of fun fights in that card.
Really
BKFC
looking forward to that fight now,
coming
man.
up. I know. When you get to meet people like that, it makes you invested more. I believe that. Speaking of meeting people, you've met him before. We've met him before. The hero himself, Quentin Henry's coming up. He'll be on a card coming up to BKFC 20 in Biloxi. I can't believe it's a week away from tomorrow.
Man. That card keeps getting deeper, more fights added. I'm not sure if you know this or not. A couple of days ago, man, I'm gonna hold off on it. I'm gonna hold off.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that to me and the people? Oh, he's teasing us. He can do it. He said he can do it. The voice of God just told us we can do it. Go ahead and do it then.
No, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off till after the break.
Is it like a big announcement?
I'm gonna give the fans a reason to stick around till after the break.
He's a true you've become such a broadcast journalist with the teases. He's swinging it there to hang around.
Yep.
So I guess that means we're gonna find out more with Rob's big secret. And I want to know, and I'm not kidding you, sometimes on the show, I don't know. No, I really have no clue what the hell you're talking about. So I want to find out too, and we're going to find out more right after this.
My gentlemen, to the line. Buckle up. It's time to knuckle. The big shot for now. He goes down. Peralta lands in the counter shot. Down goes Stevenson. The right hand, and down goes Julian Wade. Oh, save. Game, set, match. It's the half block. That's it. He's out. Velasquez down again. Just like that, he is finished. The win for down to win. Buckle up.
I am trying to fit in with the promo.
What?
What the hell was that?
What did we just watch?
That was like Max Headroom BKFC.
Oh man, that was disastrous.
So for those of you, because I know, like, first of all, I want to shout out Big Ben's always in the comments. I want to say hi to him. We love him.
What's up, Ben? Good to see you, buddy.
There's another Ben that hit me up on Facebook, and this is important. His name's
Small Ben?
Benjamin. I guess we'll call him Benjamin.
Nah, it's a small Ben. We got a big Ben. We're gonna need a small Ben.
Benjamin wants me to autograph a Tiger Life can when I come to Mississippi. He's going to be
that's
there.
cool.
I'm very excited about it. But the reason I'm shouting out Benjamin is because he listens to the BKFC show on Spotify. And he says, sometimes you guys talk about things that are happening, but I can't see them. So what just happened, if you missed that, I don't know if that'll be on the Spotify show, was the video was so choppy. I don't know what happened. So that's what we're joking around about. But thank you for listening, Benjamin. We really appreciate guys like you and everyone that listens and watches.
The irony is we see people in the chat and like, man, the production for this show really stepped up.
Yeah, right.
Why'd you jinx it, man? You jinxed it.
So they're all waiting, Rob. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. You were teasing before our Max Headroom break.
Yeah.
You were teasing about something that's going on.
Undefeated heavyweight Dylan Kleckler is now on this card.
What, the one coming up on Friday?
Yes, sir.
Next Friday?
Next Friday, BKFC 20. He's now added to this card. So
do we know who he's fighting yet?
If you didn't need to know another reason to join in, I've been waiting for this dude to fight. He got injured his last 2 times. Just
who? Oh, Kleckler. He's
right next to Rob.
There he is. There he is on screen.
Yeah, his beard is so much cooler than my beard.
No,
dude.
hold on. Let's ask the chat. Who's got the better beard? Now, I got
Kleckler.
You guys could be brothers. Really? I mean, look, make your face like his. We can't be brothers. I'm cleanly shaven, baby, today. I'm looking good. Not really.
No, it's exciting, man. Undefeated heavyweight, man. Add that to the mix. Woo! There's going to be some fireworks next Friday for
That's
sure.
That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to him, too. I think he was supposed to fight, was it Josh Burns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when the Frank Tate fight happened because he tore his hamstring or something like that.
It sucks, man.
So he'll be back. I don't know who he's facing. Do you know that yet?
I don't. Maybe the production crew has some intel on that. I just know Kleckler's on. So I had to make the announcement. Once I heard that, boom, baby, let's go.
Good to see Dylan Kleckler come back. Going to be really good. there's a lot of other stuff we have to talk about before we get into Quentin Henry, who's coming up in a couple minutes. The Chad Mendes signing. You weren't here last week. Chad Mendes signing was huge for the organization. It was talked about on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, from what I could hear, was very complimentary. I was very excited when Joe called me. He said, this
Rogan called you?
Yeah, we were talking. He said, it's really exciting, Bri. And I said, I agree with you, Joe. And I said, I can't do your show. I don't have time right now. I'm
too busy, man.
Doing the BKFC show, baby.
Man.
I'm a BKFC guy.
We'll reschedule. We'll take a rain check, Joe.
But in all seriousness, I like to get your opinion and outlook on this stuff. Chad Mendes, big signing for BKFC. Where are you at with the Chad Mendes signing? And if you're just joining the chat, I want to know where you're at.
I love it, man. Chad Mendes has hands. He's a decorated wrestler. He's known for that. He's known for his ground and pound. But do not look past this guy's stand-up by any stretch.
We showed it last week on here. I mean, anybody, because I saw some comments on social media that were like, oh, good, they hired a wrestler. No, here's the thing. This guy can throw. We showed it last week.
If he had, I would say, if he had 2 solid more weeks, Conor McGregor wouldn't be where Conor McGregor was at because he would
think
whoop
about
his
that
ass.
on 2 weeks' notice. Evan and I were talking about it on 2 weeks' notice.
Yeah,
and I mean, you can see we're gonna play some clips of it here. The other thing, I mean, I'm gonna kind of contradict myself here, but I'm playing devil's advocate with myself here.
Okay.
I mean, we've seen UFC people come to BKFC. We've talked about this before. We've seen boxers, people from non-bare knuckle people, and they don't always fare the best until they get a fight or so under their belt. They have to kind of experience, even if you're an elite athlete, you're still walking into something different than what you're used to.
Dude, I think it's totally different per person. Before the previous BKFC 19, before watching that, I honestly thought Paige Van Zandt was going to annihilate Ostovich because she had that experience.
I kind of thought that too.
Dude, and Rachel came out she took it to like a duck to water. She's been doing it for years.
She's great.
So I don't know,
Overhead
man.
rights.
I really don't know. I was in the same wheelhouse as you that, some people don't fare well with it. It's a new sport. They need a transition period. Ostovich came in she fought 3 people on the way to the damn fight, man.
But let me ask you something. Do you maybe feel like, again, I'm kind of just playing devil's advocate what people are saying, what I'm reading, but do you think that almost is a dated way of thinking now or becoming one? Because bare knuckle has been around now for a few years now, and we talked about this last week with John Nutt. It's continuing to progress. You're seeing different disciplines, if you will, different styles. So do you think that now the people from outside organizations that are coming in the beginning, I can kind of do this, I know what I'm doing, and now they're realizing, wait a minute, this is a little different than I thought. And then they adjust accordingly. Do you think maybe that's what's going on here?
I think so for sure. I think people are actually downloading the data. They're watching the fights. They're seeing what's working, what's not working. What is the difference between MMA, boxing, and bare knuckle fighting championship?
And there is it's if you're a true fan, I know if you're watching and listening to this, you are the elite of the elite fans. You're the most true fans that watch and
you're an even bigger fan if you smash that subscribe button.
Rob, look at you with his commercial.
Got him.
That was good. You got me. I was waiting for what you were going to say. Hit me with that. So we're going to get to Quentin Henry in just a minute, but I just want to say that if you're watching this, you're a big fan. So you're understanding what we're saying. You're watching this develop with us. And I always say, it's cool that we're building this together. And a guy that we're going to talk to together, because if you have any questions, as we say, if they're good, the producers will grab them, drop them in the chat. For Quentin, your hero, his hero, my hero, the hero, Henry. He's on the line. Hey, Quentin, how you doing, dude?
Oh, pretty good, man. Just another day, running around busy.
Look at that, man. There he is. He's got the shades on. He's got the beautiful beard. Quentin Henry.
Man's a legend, dude. I don't care, man. This guy is a living legend right here, man.
I agree.
I got the hair up today. I don't have it.
He's got a bun.
Got it up. It's a little hot for that shit.
He's got it all set up behind him. See, you're a pretty cool, mellow, calm dude, and I enjoy talking to you. You can do voiceovers. Your voice is phenomenal, but your hands are even more phenomenal. But when somebody pisses you off, I feel like you're not going to be the calmest dude anymore. There's a lot we want to get into. There's a lot we want to get into. And I think before we even get into all that stuff, we need to kind of go chronologically here. I want to start from Knuckle Mania, your fight with Chris Lieben, and I want to talk to you about that. Interesting fight. I think that even in a loss for you, it made you into. It didn't. The loss, I don't think, hurt you. I think the fans respected you for keeping on going. If you've never seen the fight, go watch it on the Bare Knuckle TV app, BKFC.com.
Actually, just posted last night.
You posted
night.
it?
Yep, it was posted last night on YouTube. They can rewatch that fight, and there's a little bit of dialogue with exactly what you said. So join in that conversation.
I mean, you can talk about the fight too, Quentin. What happened? It looked like you got poked in the eye, right?
Yeah, I felt like the fight was kind of going my way. I was just kind of getting into my groove, and we got caught up against the ropes one time, and then I heard a break from the ref, and then I got poked in the eye, and then the ref grabbed me and said break the last time after I got poked. Yeah, man. Then after that, it was kind of just like, I'd kind of lost some of my vision in my left eye, and it's kind of hard to run your game plan and work distances and all that when you kind of only got one eye. But I was not going to go out that way, and I definitely was going to make sure that the fans got their money's worth before I stepped out of that cage.
And we did. We saw that, and you're a true warrior for doing that. But I noticed you said that the ref said break, then you got hit in the eye, and then another break. I'm not saying it was intentional. I have no clue. I wasn't in there. But is there any ill will? Did you feel like that he should have broken? If he would have broken, the fight could have gone on, given the fans more. You could have had a better chance at getting the W.
Well, I don't blame Chris per se. I blame the ref. If the ref is going to see, if you're going to say break, you have to be breaking the action up, especially when you got two guys going at it. And that's a rule we need to get clarified before I fight again, because I ain't fucking stop throwing until somebody puts their hands on me next time. That'll be the last damn time I quit protecting myself because the ref said break. His ass better be in there in between us pushing somebody around, or I'm still throwing dick beater.
Well, that's what we're looking for out of you. That's why people love you, man. I think people really gravitate toward you for reasons like that. Now, Chris had asked, from what I understood, for this fight to be his retirement fight. I know you grew up as a fan. You had said before that going in, you weren't really nervous. You just wanted to give him a good fight. Is that correct to say? I think we lost him.
Yeah, man. I think he froze up on me a little bit.
It's Max Headroom Day here.
Decline.
That's all right. Let's try again. What I said was, you were. Can you hear me?
Sorry.
It's all right. Don't you be sorry. It's probably our satellites. We're having all kinds of storms around here. Did you, going into the fight, I mean, you were aware, I think you told me before, that he picked you for his retirement fight. And while that must have been some type of honor for you, you wanted to put him down. You wanted to put him out, so you could advance your career. Going into that, I don't think there's no fear in you, but what was that like going in for something like that?
It was exciting, to finally kind of, I've been fighting my whole life. And then when he called me out, it kind of was like my invitation to the top. It kind of let me know that I was at least credible in what I've been doing, for him to want to fight me, because he doesn't pick people to fight because they're bums. He picks people to fight because they're badasses. And, to be picked by Chris Liebman is it's an honor in that aspect. He wanted to fight. He didn't want an easy fight for his last fight. He wanted one that people weren't sure if he was going to win. And, he ended up winning it. I think if we ran it back 9 out of 10 times, he's mine. But, it is what it is. That's why it's the fight game. It's not called winning. It's called fighting. So you never know what's going to happen at the end of the night.
And Quentin, was there anything that surprised you going into that match? Is there anything that, Chris did differently that you did not expect, or anything that maybe took you off your game plan a little bit?
Yeah, he ran. The whole fight. As soon as the fight starts, he started backing up. And that's not something I've ever seen Chris Liebman do before.
No.
So, I had prepared for a war where we were both meeting in the middle, and I ended up chasing him around the whole time until he clipped me with one when I was a Cyclops. But, maybe that was his game plan the whole time. He's a savvy veteran. Maybe he was trying to get me to bite that bullet, and he was just going to back up. If that's the case, it worked. But I can tell you that shit ain't going to happen again.
He definitely took some solid shots. I think everybody knows the ability of Chris Liebman to take a shot. His chin's like granite. Yeah. I mean, he took some very solid shots, but
yeah, I went back and watched the fight again. It wasn't, that I wasn't hitting hard enough. They just didn't land in the exact spot. I was catching him here, up in the jaw, up in the, top of the cheekbones and stuff, instead of right on the button and all that. I blame myself for the whole thing, just letting it get a little too out of control and not focusing in and zeroing in on where my shots were going. And, at that point, I felt like I was indestructible. I wasn't scared of him. I didn't think he had anything for me. And I was just like, fuck it. I'm about to take this dude out. And, little do you know, he got me.
Yeah, it seemed like there was so much going through your mind, so much going on in such a short time in that fight. So thanks for kind of sharing that with us. But I'll tell you where other stuff's been going on, because you're an unpredictable guy. I mean, we love watching you fight, of course, in the squared circle. Love seeing what you're up to. But then I think it was BKFC 17. Let's talk about this. After the show, I believe it involved Lambert, Mr. Moy Malo, whatever, Brandon Lambert.
Ironically enough, I'm going to fill the fans in really fast that Brian and myself actually had the opportunity. We interviewed Brandon separately. We interviewed Quentin as well. And then
we had that going on before the show. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden we hear there's this melee after the show. Robert Washington was involved, and you were involved in this. Can you speak on what happened? I mean, there's been different stories, but I haven't heard your part of it yet.
Right. Man, I was actually sick that night. I had sat outside for about an hour just so I could rest with a headache, trying to leave, but I had other people riding with me. But you can hear it if you catch that video on YouTube. When I walk up and I'm standing there, I'm telling Ryan, I'm like, "Hey man, I'm about to leave," and that's all I was doing was walking up, to get my stuff and go. And Robert and Ryan and Brandon were all, sitting there talking, and it seemed to me like you're reading the body language of it. It was, hospitable. It didn't seem like it was about to turn violent or anything, So, and then I heard Brandon telling Robert like, "Oh yeah, well, we'll set it up. We'll make it happen." And I thought they were agreeing on a contract or something, like agreeing to fight each other. Because you know how Brandon is.
Yeah.
He's always promoting and, doing all his stuff. And I was like, "Oh man, that dude just got him a fight," and that's what I thought. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then the guy said something to him about meeting him in the parking lot and just walked off. And Brandon was telling him, "You tell somebody to meet you in the parking lot, you better." And then bam, they turned around and punched him. And I was still at this point, but when he hit Brandon, it like knocked him past me. And then I kind of just stepped up in between them like, "Hey, what the hell?" And I was really just trying to I'm not one to jump into other people's fights. I'm gonna let them fight it out.
Of course.
But I stepped up, looked back, and I saw Brandon was still good. But then when I turned around and looked at him, he started putting his hands up like he was gonna fight me. And I'm like, man. So then when I started walking towards him, there's little kids and women and stuff all around. And I was just going to try and contain the situation because the last thing that needed to happen was for me to go Wolverine mode up in that building with all those people. And, so I started coming at him. Tony ended up grabbing him and throwing him on the ground, but then Tony backed up like he was about to get up. So I just jumped on top of him, set my hooks and sprawled him out. I own a jiu-jitsu school. I was just holding him there. And then everybody thought I was the bad guy. I mean, I guess obviously because I'm huge and scary, I guess maybe, I get that. But then everybody started grabbing me and pulling off of me. I don't know how many people it was.
I counted 7 or 8. I counted 7 or 8 people, and they weren't. Here's what I'll say about you, and this is going to be a way to put you over. Even I'll count 7 or 8 when this happened. You had all these people here. We're going to show them on the screen now, but yet all these people pulling them off you, right? All these people are pulling them off, and you weren't letting go until you were ready to let go. It didn't matter. There were 7 or 8 guys.
No, I wasn't leaving until I let go of it because either his head was going to come with me or I was going to let go of it. And, but that was kind of the thing. And then all of a sudden they were coming after me like I was the bad guy.
You were the hero. I don't know. You're trying to help the situation.
Right. It's what I do. So, but it is what it is. I think everybody figured it out afterwards. I just don't like that whole situation in general. Just I guess the unsportsmanlike conduct of it outside the cage and then just causing a danger and stuff to the fans.
Yeah, this could be legal ramifications.
People nervous.
This could be legal ramifications.
People get nervous around that. We're huge fighters. We train to hurt people, and then you see them just brawling outside, and that ain't good at all.
No, I agree.
And that was kind of what aggravated me the most, and it was just that Robert Washington guy is just a punk bitch, and I just can't stand that. I should have actually beat him up, but cooler heads prevailed.
No, because we don't want to see you go to jail. We want to see you fight. So let's kind
of. But see, he didn't go to jail. So what's to keep me from doing it next time? That's all he did was set a precedence that you can fight outside the cage and cause a distraction like that and not lose your job because he got another fight. So now this is the environment we're in. I'm ready. Nobody's coming up to me hostile or aggressive and getting in swinging range without something happening because I don't know what's going to happen no more. Just everybody keep your distance from me because I ain't about that life.
I think we need to invest into additional security. That's what it sounds like.
We've been doing that, and I feel like I tried to make a joke to transition there. He's very serious. I could tell.
And you should be serious situation. You should be serious, man. I mean,
he's a bum, man. He's embarrassing real fighters like me. That's an embarrassment. The guy's a bum in the ring and outside the ring, and I don't want no part of him or any of that, really.
Well, let's shift gears here for a second.
Makes the sport look bad.
And well, I appreciate you saying that, and I understand what you're saying. But let's shift gears here for a second. Let's talk about, you have a fight coming up. We're going to get to that in a minute, believe it or not. But let's talk about something I saw. You posted something on Instagram recently. It's 205, and you talk about your weight. And what's your walk-around weight? What are you normally at?
I was 209 this morning.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's usually where I stay, about 210, 205. It just depends on, how hard I'm training, how much I'm eating, really. But I usually stay within 5 to 10 pounds of 205 most of the time.
So in the post, I think we're going to flash it up here in a second. It's a scale that says 205, and you wrote some stuff in there, and you were basically saying in there that you would go down to challenge Thiago Alves. They're thrown up there now. I think you can read it if it's on screen. Who are you looking at? I mean, after this fight,
let's read that really fast for the fans that can't see. Here's the difference between me and the rest of these folks. I don't cut 30 pounds so I can be the bigger guy. I got to eat to stay at the weight, and it's different when you live for this shit. Hashtag Thiago Alves, ATT. Better watch out. Ain't nothing but a thing to slip down and take that belt.
Woo! So yeah, it's hot. You're a motivated guy.
Right.
You're calling people out. What was the thought behind that when you wrote that? Do you want Thiago at some point? Not looking past your fight.
I want everybody. I want all of them. I want whoever's got a belt, whoever's going to put me up. You know what I mean? Like, I was a huge Thiago Alves fan my whole career. His whole career and all that. But now these guys aren't on a pedestal above me anymore. And I feel like they're getting a pedestal that they don't deserve based on what their past was. He had a great fight against Yuli. I don't dislike Thiago. I don't think he's a bad guy, but my goal is to leave a legacy. And, I spent my whole career in MMA fighting at 185. I fought 170, 185, 205, heavyweight. There's not a weight that I haven't fought at besides, one that I'd have to cut my leg off to get to. And, if that's where the interesting fight is, and that's the one I want to go to, I love to fight for the 205 belt. I'm here to leave a legacy. I'm not here, to dodge people and go here and there, but, to be at 205, drop down to 185 and get a belt and go back to 205, take that one too, or maybe the first one at 205 and go to 185. It's just, whoever wants it's going to get it. On a good week, you give me 6 weeks, I can make 185.
Sure,
we can throw some fireworks down there too.
And Quentin, so just so we're all clear, you're putting that out there. Are you saying Thiago walks around a whole lot heavier and he cuts down for?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. If when he was in the UFC, I watched UFC Unleashed on him. I think he was walking around at 200 pounds fighting at 170.
Wow.
So a lot of these guys, and that's just the sport in general. Yeah. That's what it is in MMA and that boxing. That's kind of what it's developed into. But I don't feel like that's the right way to go, and that's the way you need to be. There's a way that you can be at your peak physical conditioning and at a certain weight, which mine is about 205. That's what I am at my peak physical conditioning. But you have a lot of guys who aren't reaching that, and instead of eating right the couple weeks before, they're making it up in the sauna, cutting another 10 pounds, and it's not like it's cheap or whatever it is. It's just not good for you at all. You can't be hydrated. You can't perform at your best. And that's why I don't do it. And these guys that think that's giving them an advantage are just finding out that it ain't the same when I bust you in the head after cutting 30 pounds versus if you walking around the day of weigh-ins or training. So
Quentin, if given the opportunity, you have two choices. Hector Lombard at 205, Thiago Alves 185. Where are you going, buddy?
I want that 205 belt. I want to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I like to eat. 205 is easy for me. I think that they're both legendary fighters in their own, but I definitely think that I can take them if I get my chance to get in there in the ring with them. I got my sights on everybody. Right now, Fish is about to get it. And then after I get done with him, we're moving on to the next one.
So let's talk about Jason Fish. We don't want to look past him. I believe he's 2-0.
No, not at all.
I don't want any of the fans to feel like we're doing that. There's just so much. We don't always get to talk to you, so there's so much we want to unpack. But let's talk about your fight with Jason Fish. Where are you with that? Obviously, you're training hard. You're always training hard. I've seen your stuff on Instagram, and you're incredible at what you do. We've seen your fights in the past. But where are you with Jason Fish? I always ask this. Are you a guy that studies tapes, or do you just kind of go in and do your thing?
I pretty much just do my thing. My coaches watch a little bit of tape to kind of, figure out what we need to be working on and all that. But the way I look at boxing is if my game is on point, it doesn't matter what he does. And, so it's really more important to focus on what I'm doing. my conditioning, my striking, my speed and agility. I've added, a speed and agility coach, strength conditioning coach for this training camp. It's something I wasn't doing before. I finally, I own 3 businesses outside of being a fighter. I got 3 kids. I do volunteer work around the community. I stay busy, but in the past, my training just revolved around my schedule. I got to train where I could fit it in. And now, I've changed that. Now I leave my hometown twice a week. I drive an hour and a half away to go train just so I have nothing else to do. And I got with the speed and agility coach over in Shreveport, Underdog Fitness, and Jake DeMint over at DeMint Old School Boxing. I've just taken myself out of that comfort zone to push myself even further. And I think the results are definitely going to show next weekend.
That'll get you to the next level when you do stuff like that. I find every time we talk to somebody, when they do that, that's what happens. Jason Fish, for the newer fans that haven't seen him fight yet, you've seen him fight, and you're a professional fighter. So I always like to ask questions like this. Could you describe Jason Fish as you see him in a sentence or two as a fighter?
He's like a little wrecking ball. That's basically the plan that he has. He's pretty durable. He'll stand around and he'll take some shots in order to get inside and try and drop the big overhand right. He's like a little juggernaut. That's basically what his game plan is. There's a whole lot of brute and not a whole lot of advanced technical skill. But sometimes that'll get you further than you think. But this time it's just going to end up getting my ass whooping.
Well, what is that's prediction, the ass whooping, but when you visualize the fight, I ask this all the time too, because it's interesting to me, is you visualize the fight and you look at a prediction, where do you see this stopping? I mean, obviously you're going to go for a knockout.
I'm predicting doctor stoppage by cuts.
Doctor stoppage.
That's what I predict. By the end of before he goes down, he probably going to end up getting cut up too many times, and the doctor's going to tell him it ain't a good idea to go on no more. Like I said, man, in the past, you watched me in the Lieben fight. I kind of lost my cool. I kind of went a little too hard. Tiger got out of the cage. Happens sometimes, but I'm a surgeon, bro. When I'm in there throwing hands, it's like sniper rifle, pop, 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 over and over. And I'm not looking for the knockout. I'm looking for the open shot. And if the knockout comes, and that's just what happened to me. But I know damn well every time I hit him, something's going to bleed.
Rob?
Hey, I've got this in the chat. If it is, I apologize if it is not Quentin. We put it out there all the time. We go to the fans. We have Robert Washington apparently in the chat asking to run a fight. Is that something that you would be interested in the future, or are you looking past that? What are your thoughts, Quentin?
The dude that just got knocked out in 7 seconds, like a fucking bum. Get the fuck out of here. That's all I got to say to you, you piece of shit. Down syndrome, Ninja Turtle looking motherfucker.
All right. Dude. Well, Quentin Henry, never at a loss for words. We appreciate your honesty on that. That's your answer there.
There it is.
But I heard you say, you mentioned the word juggernaut. I also heard you say that when referring to Jason Fish, your big fight coming up August 20th. By the way, BKFC.com if you want to watch it. You want to watch this fight. Quentin Henry, you never know what's going to happen. Jason Fish, 2-0. So this is going to be a great fight. But you said the word juggernaut. And in that 205 division, we've seen Hector and the juggernaut, Lorenzo Hunt. They've had some issues. What are your thoughts on Lorenzo Hunt? I mean, if you do get past Jason Fish, and it sounds like you're confident you will, is Lorenzo Hunt a fight you're interested in? Is that who would be next for you?
Absolutely, man. I've wanted to fight Lorenzo for a little while now. I think he's wanted to fight me too. I just don't think it was kind of in the cards. Me and him we don't beef for nothing. We're cool when we see each other, But yeah, I respect him a lot. After that Josh Dyer fight, he seemed like a different guy. That was a very, very impressive fight for him. But that just makes me want to fight him more. I'm not entitled enough to think that I deserve to fight him before he fights for a belt, is all it is, And until he gets that out of the way, he's earned that. He deserves that. And once that's done with, then he's back on the table and we can look at it from there, But I got a lot of respect for Lorenzo as a fighter.
We talk about a lot of respect. I know that the fans in the chat have a lot of respect for you as a fighter. We do as well. We can't wait to see your bout coming up with Jason Fish. BKFC.com, Bare Knuckle TV app. You grab that. You're one of the many amazing fights on there. And, as you said today, you're a guy that's on the road to building legacy for yourself and getting titles so you can eat well, all this stuff. And the fans love it because you're so driven. So we're excited to continue watching your journey as a professional fighter. And congratulations for, as you said earlier, kind of getting to sit at I don't want to say the big boys table, but this is huge for you being in BKFC.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's the big boys table. It's okay to say that.
And you're, as long as you're the biggest boy that eats the most at the big boys table, you'll be all right, right?
Right, yeah, as long as you get to be in the group, I mean, that's kind of the thing. When you get to the top, you're not fighting bums anymore, so it's not just going to be a walkthrough going to everybody, and really that's what makes it exciting. I get more excited for fights I'm not supposed to win than the ones that I'm supposed to. It's I'm looking forward to putting on a show and getting my name out there. I'm making my way up, but I'm not there yet. I'm not done. I want to be the face of the sport, and I want everybody to recognize this mullet and say, "Oh, that's a bare knuckle boxer."
And Quentin, where can people learn more about you? We're gonna let you go with that. How can they learn more about you? How can they follow you on your social media channels?
I'm on Quentin the Hero Henry on Facebook, and then Hero Henry at Hero Henry on Instagram. I'm pretty active on all of them, but Instagram's kind of the one that I stick to the most. But yeah, man, Instagram. I got a website for my gym. I got a gym. If anybody's in town, anybody's cutting through Western Road, North Louisiana, come on through, come see me. We'll hang out. I'm not so scary in person, man. It's just if you're not on my side, you don't want to deal with me. That's it.
Hey, I'll stop by your gym as long as you promise not to hit me. Quentin Henry, thank you so much for coming
Thanks,
on.
Quentin.
We appreciate you, and good luck in building your legacy here in BKFC. We can't wait to watch it. Oh, look at that.
See y'all soon, guys.
See you, man.
Till
Good
next
luck.
time. It's going down next Friday.
There we go. And we're going to be back right after this.
Tiger Life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger Life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good. Tiger Life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger Life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good.
We're back. That was great interviews with Crystal Pittman, Quentin Henry. I love learning more about these people, and I love educating for you if you don't know, because I know you guys are big fans too. By the way, you can also catch the show. We talk about this, a quick plug. BKFC show, that's on Spotify as well, like our boy Benjamin does, and he hit me up, and he loves the show. So another shout out to him.
Awesome.
So much exciting stuff coming up in BKFC. Just quickly, if people don't know, let's go through the events that are coming up. Not the ones coming up a week from tomorrow, BKFC 20. BKFC 21, that's going to be Dakota Cochran versus the Marine Mike Richmond. Then you got Josh Burns versus the Hammer Josh Burns versus Hillbilly Hammer.
That's the undercard. That's crazy.
Think about that. That's awesome. That's the matches I know so far on that one.
First round knockout.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What, the Hammer and Shoemaker you're saying?
Yep.
Who for who?
I'm not saying who.
Oh,
It's going to be a first round knockout, brother.
Yeah, you're a real Richard. I'm trying to be clean. You're a freaking Richard. Let's see. So there it is. It's up there. You can check it out. And where we're going to be, if we're coming to your town, make sure you come hang out.
BKFC 22. Man, that's going to be fireworks. Chad Mendez.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he's going to be on that card, brother.
I can't wait to see what he does. And then we have everything. We have Total Lines coming up. I think in the UK. I'm not sure the date on that, but I know we have Total Lines coming up. And it's just exciting. We have the Game Bread 2 coming up.
August 28th is the Toe the Line UK, man.
That'll be awesome.
Yep.
All on the app, man. And we just signed somebody from the UK, too.
$4.99, dude. You're getting all this for $4.99. You're getting a buffet for like 50 cents. That's what it is, man.
BKFC.com to get in for all the content. Another thing, let's talk about right here and now, because we're almost a week away from BKFC
talk about the
20.
card, man.
I want to just, before we do that, I don't know if people caught this on Instagram. I love reading comments on Instagram. I don't always comment, but I'm reading the comments a lot. We have this awesome video of Reggie Barnett getting his knuckles ready. So
really?
let's show the video. Conditioning his knuckles. Okay, so you can see him. It looks like he's punching sand with tennis balls in there. And I'm wondering, is he going to break out the pickle brine after this? I mean, he's going old school.
This is really old school, Brian. This is like kung fu, like iron palm, old school training conditioning.
Well, Reggie's very driven, and Reggie is the most winningest fighter in BKFC. I believe his record's 6-1. His one loss is to the man he's fighting, Johnny Bedford.
Rematch.
So he wants to avenge that. He's working hard. I spoke with Reggie the other day, and Reggie was saying that in his gym they call it the like at the heat house or something like that. He said, or the I forget what he called it, but he said he'll raise the heat so high in there so nothing affects him when he's fighting, like 100 and some degrees sometimes, and he does that kind of training.
Warrior, man.
Reggie's father, very instrumental, former professional boxer, I believe. Reggie, Golden Gloves champion. Reggie's got a lot going on going this fight. Reggie has a lot to gain. Reggie's been with bare knuckle since day one, as has Johnny. I think there's some respect there from Johnny now that maybe wasn't there on their first fight. And I think that Reggie knows this is an opportunity not only to win the title, but just to show his story off and what he's been through. Reggie's been to prison. Reggie's been an alcoholic problem he's beaten. He's trying to stand up much like Crystal Pittman is, and I love that about Reggie. Now, Johnny Bedford, on the other hand, he's got a lot of personal stuff going on, too, he was talking to me about in his head with his business partner and stuff
Some
like
drama
that.
going on there.
And we're going to find out more about this on Fight Camp Ungloved. You can see at the bottom of the screen when that debuts in the BKFC app. We did interviews with Reggie's father, everybody, and they're going to put it together. Lord
So
Evan
cool,
Zantar,
man.
and
So
he's going to
cool.
make it look great.
I love these ungloved series.
I know, they're so
Learn
fun to
so
watch.
much about the fighters.
BKFC.com, grab that app. It's dirt cheap. I mean, for all the stuff we're giving you. I don't know how they even pay us. You get paid?
Nah, man. See me with the sign. We'll go to BKFC for food.
For food, yeah. They'll feed us in the production tent. It'll be great. But no, Fight Camp Ungloved is always good, and we got a lot of great content out of those two guys, Reggie and Johnny. Very excited about that fight, the main event. And, you know, Johnny is excited, too. He wants that title to come home with him. Also on the card, we talked to Quentin Henry already. I'm not going in any order here. I'm sorry. Quentin Henry and Jason Fish. Jason Fish 2-0. Quentin Henry is a BKFC favorite in my estimation amongst fans. So as we're actually watching Johnny and Reggie. There you go. Now we have the card up.
Yeah, the co-main event, the hometown hero, Alan Belcher versus Tony Lopez.
Yo, Tony Lopez is a bad dude, man. Don't sell him short.
Alan Belcher has been eating whole oxen, man. This dude
Did you
is
see what
on
he
a
looks like?
special diet. He is ripped, solid as steel, man. He's training hard for
And
this.
I was saying to President David Feldman, I had heard that he parked his Winnebago outside the Mississippi Coast Coliseum.
Nuh-uh.
So that's what I heard.
Is that real?
This is what I heard. I don't
thought
know.
it was a rumor.
I don't know. I think he put something on Instagram or something. He was training so he could see where he was going to be. Like, he's very motivated.
Wow, man.
He's a legend in the Gulf Coast. I mean,
He is,
it's
dude.
going to be
He
huge
is.
to have him there. I interviewed him last time we were there. It was the Garcia versus Elmore fight, and he came to the back and I interviewed him. I shook that man's hand. I wouldn't want to get hit by any man's hand, especially his. It's like
Not
a
at
mitt.
all, man.
I mean, that's going to be a great fight. There's so much good stuff on this card. We talked to the Rugged Beauty earlier, Crystal Pittman, Aldrich Cummings. You see that down the bottom. Bobo O'Bannon, the Bible Belt Brawler, he's going to be there against Louis Rumsey. And, I mean, these are all fights that you know are going to be great fights. Dylan Kleckler, we talked about him earlier. Again, I'm going in no order, but Kleckler's making his comeback. You can't beat this stuff. Melvin Gillard's going to be there. I think he fought.
Controversial. His last
That's where I
fight
was going.
very controversial, man.
In the same building, I think, too.
Exactly. He's
So-
back.
So he's back, and I mean, look, Elvin Brito, look at that. These are all. He's one of my favorite guys to watch fight. He's fun to watch fight.
His evolution is
Oh
awesome.
my, he's incredible. There's very few. I mean, everyone loves bare knuckle. If you do it, you have to love it, right? But this guy studies it, trains for it, eats it, breathes it, lives it. It's his entire life. I feel like when you talk to him, he's got all these
He's
theories.
a technician of this sport, man. Wow.
So that's gonna. This is gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
Look,
for
man,
it.
you got Caleb Harris, one of the most devastating
That knockout was
knockouts.
sick, the Lionheart.
Yeah, dude. I thought he killed the man. I thought the dude died on his way down.
And this is all one card, man.
This is crazy.
1 week from tomorrow night, August 20th, Biloxi, Mississippi, the Mississippi Coast
This is-
Coliseum, BKFC.com to get that app.
I keep saying it. These cards keep getting more stacked and more stacked. I don't even know if that's proper English, but it is exciting to check out some of these fighters and their evolution. It's
Florida Keys
phenomenal.
kid, John Schallback's going to be on here too.
How do we even
Schallback,
forget about him?
They're all here. They're all here at BKFC 20. BKFC.com once again to get in. you can get in. All I know is if I wouldn't be pounding sand with my fist because someone wrote this. They said, "What happens when he hits the end of the bucket with his knuckle?" That's what I do, or I'd spill it on myself.
If it's Reggie Barnett, he probably breaks the bucket.
He probably does, man. And I think that if you read those comments with the Reggie Barnett punching the sand, someone's like, "Oh, they told me to go. They told me to go pound sand, and look what he's doing." And he was even weighing in. He was saying, I'm really enjoying reading all these comments.
Tongue in cheek stuff.
But it's interesting to me because some people are saying that the punching of sand and that kind of stuff. Some people do rice. Some people just hit a bag filled with sand. Apparently, the sand saves your knuckles. They say a little bit because if you punch the bag, it'll cut your knuckles up a little more.
Okay.
Some people saying it works. Some people saying it doesn't work.
We'll know next Friday.
I'm not going to try it.
We'll know next Friday whether it works or not, man. We have 13 action-packed bouts, man. 13.
Wow. What time does the prelim start?
Dude, 7 o'clock.
That's live on YouTube for free.
Yeah. As long as you subscribe.
Wet your taste bud up a little bit for the bout. You're not going to see it if you don't subscribe. BKFC.com. Grab the Bare Knuckle TV app and get involved, man, because we're building this thing. It gets bigger and bigger every show, and we're excited that you're a part of it. Rob, that's all I got for this week.
Man, I'd love to do the knockouts of the week, but we keep getting banned and hit with the, you're not supposed to be putting out the real life stuff.
Well, here's your knockout of the week. You ready, everybody? Oh, you all right, Rob? Did they cut that camera so it looked real? Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate all of you. Like, subscribe, whatever you like to say, Rob.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Put your Tiger Life up, brother.
I love it, man. I like
we are just about a week out. I think we're going to be live from the event next week, right?
Yes, we are, man.
Cheers.
A great time.
Wait. From John Nutt. Choke D. That's in Thai. You told me that last week.
I don't know. It's just like penis fingers or something.
Ah! Come on, we gave you the spot for the clip. It's all right. Knuckle up. See you next week. Fight week, baby!